Welcome everybody to the ESL Pro League here at the Intel Esports Arena. Of course, the Pro League is powered by Intel, with everyone playing on those juicy i7 processors. Now, my guests today on the desk, I guess. I don't really need to introduce you guys. You should be introducing me, realistically. But regardless, Sponje, Janko, how are you guys feeling? I mean, yeah, I've done it on purpose, by the way.
I don't know. Did he ask me during the thing?
Absolutely taken down. Chat already triggered 10 seconds into the
We were just having a discussion about like seniority and stuff before we even went on air, and he's throwing that one out there.
Yeah, I did tell him it was going to happen.
You need to put the foot down.
Now he's just made this segment an absolute mess, hasn't he?
No, it's not going to happen. I'm host. I get to roll this. I can call you Sponge, it's whatever. But regardless, you guys, you're looking forward to New York. Obviously, gearing up for that one, and you'll be heading out in a few days, right?
I'll be going.
I won't.
You're not going.
I wasn't invited.
You have a wedding.
No, I can't. It's a good excuse. My friend's getting married, so I can't attend this time around. But it's going to be an exciting event. We have good teams there, Chad.
Yeah, and hopefully Astralis and SK don't mess up the bracket, so we actually get that final.
It's always going to happen. Someone's always going to mess up the bracket. Liquid's playing well. They're going to mess up the bracket.
Might have a tan as
USA. USA.
Regardless, it's going to be a good event, but of course we're focusing on the ESL Pro League. And we'll catch you guys up at home on the standings so far. Of course, we have both North America and Europe, so we'll start things off with the North American region. Guys, is this how you kind of saw the North American Pro League starting out, Optic leading the table?
Other than Optic, obviously coming in from Europe, or being a European team playing in North America, other than that kind of guess curveball being thrown us at the start of the season, seeing SK at the top is where you expect them. Misfits being so high up early on, it's still very early days, right? You expect this to kind of even out. I think the biggest shock is Cloud9, but that's because that roster change, that's really thrown them for a bit of a spin.
Roster change, and also had to play with a stand-in for their initial games. Automatic was on vacation. But yeah, it's still early days. I think Misfits probably is the positive surprise, so to speak. They already played 8 games. That's another thing, only 2 losses. So they're in a good position if they can maintain this form throughout the league to secure a spot for the LAN finals.
Looking ugly there at the bottom for Team Rove, 0-6. Moving across to Europe then, of course, everything's starting to settle down a little bit as we get further in. Fnatic there at the top, but LDLC, who we will be seeing playing later, are 0-2. I mean, Janko, is there anyone that surprised you so far in the European region?
Fnatic, definitely, and not just because of their score and the fact that they're leading the table, but the manner in which they play the game. They look a lot more structured, as if they started doing stuff as a team and not individually. They're relying more on team play than before, which is something that you definitely love to see.
Yeah, we've really actually been talking about them as the highlight so far for Pro League, especially coming back from the player break. I think the other teams who have, I don't know if it's impressed. We were expecting a lot from FaZe. It looked good in the early days when they versed G2, and then it's not fizzled, but the results have gotten a lot closer, and I think there's a lot of teething to be done for that squad.
Yeah, I think when FaZe got together, everyone was expecting this kind of powerhouse squad, and it's not like they're a disappointment, but we expected a little bit more for sure. Let's have a look at today's games then and see what you guys at home are going to be watching on your screens. Of course, we have LDLC versus GODSENT to kick it off, and then we have the hot match of the day, Big versus Heroic. Why do we call it a hot match? It sounds like Hot Wheels.
It's the hot match of the week. Okay, so we only have 2 days this week, which is a pretty short week. But we pick a match every week that we want to highlight, and this is the Big versus Heroic one, and that's because it's the best of the lot, unfortunately, and that's the cold hard truth of the matter.
We have a bit of, New York coming up. We had Mykonos. There's also E-League at the same time playing. So a lot of teams are unavailable at the moment. So that's why sometimes you have these mixed weeks, so to speak. And yeah, Heroic and Big, it's probably on any other day you would think, yeah, this is not that exciting. But actually both of these teams have been on the rise. I mean, obviously Big with their performance at the major, and then Heroic, yes, they disappointed in Mykonos, but generally they are a team that's well-structured, well-rounded. On paper, they have their roles set up, so this can be an interesting game to spectate.
I mean, personally, I'm really excited for both Big and GODSENT, with them being new additions to the league. I remember hosting the Mountain Dew League and seeing both of them rise through the ranks, and absolutely fantastic. But game 1, GODSENT versus LDLC then. I mean, we'll focus on GODSENT first. I mean, what is this roster about? Because it seems like they've come into Pro League, they haven't really done too well, but they've been doing all right in other competitions.
They're not doing terribly in Pro League, all things considered, because at the start, I think, of the season, they had Pitt until they could add Freddie B. And then when we saw Freddie B come into the mix, he was actually a player who's taken over the in-game leader role from Pronax. So it's big shoes to fill in the brains department, but he's doing fine fragging-wise. And the team, for me anyway, is one of those squads that's very explosive. Any single player on the squad could, drop bombs, put up a really big score line, and carry the team across the lineup. But they don't have that structure yet to be a consistent force. So for them at this moment, they rely on the likes of Twist, Dennis. They have more flashy players to put up big score lines to actually get them across the board. And here's a round from Twist that we saw, which was absolutely insane on Overpass.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of casting that one, Chad. But for GODSENT, it's a similar story to many of the other teams right now in the league. They just need more time. They've changed their in-game leader recently, and sure, maybe you don't expect results from them early on, but you want to see a change in trend, something that we saw from Fnatic, for example, right? You want to see something similar for GODSENT right now. The way they win games is mostly due to their CT side. You can see them taking risks and being aggressive there. We see players like Twist able to shine, so it's going to be interesting to see in the last couple of days that they've had off, did they have some time to work on their T side?
I mean, they're 4-3 at the moment, so I guess you're right. It's not too bad. Coming into the league new, they're probably pretty happy with that. But they're going up against LDLC. I mean, 0-2. They had a bad week 1 against Fnatic. Do you think that maybe they can make something out of this matchup? Because they're in a bit of a slump in every competition.
No, I think like the Betway odds that we just saw come up there are pretty accurate, right? You're going to definitely have GODSENT as your favorite, and that could be because we've seen more of them than LDLC. But for whatever reason, LDLC always just seems really underwhelming. The fact that they have existence as an in-game leader, we put a lot of praise in there, him potentially bringing a lot of structure or cool strategies to help get these guys across the line. But the problem is with this squad, it just doesn't seem to be deep enough in terms of talent. We just don't ever get enough out of the individual players. And I think when existence can be your second best player in the server, you're going to have a couple of issues.
Where were the Betway odds?
They just came up on screen.
Hey, sorry, you didn't see them.
Yeah, it was $1.50 for GODSENT and $2.50 for LDLC.
Prove it or I'll kill you.
Whoa. Whoa.
I mean, this is getting a little bit far. I've only just met you guys today, and already there's
all still
death threats on the desk.
Tension at the desk.
Just banter. Banter.
But regardless, then LDLC.
We're here on time.
I need to stop you, because otherwise something's going to get out of hand, and I'm not the right person to get between you two.
Listen,
right?
Chad already had his almost fired moments. We all have to have it during the league.
Do you know what hotel room I'm staying in?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Are we all staying in not the same hotel room, but we're staying in the same hotel, right?
No, technically, no.
No?
No, I'm in an Airbnb.
Chad is the golden boy. He gets separate accommodation for the golden boy.
I don't know. Have you seen the hotel? The hotel's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. Not as nice as, a penthouse.
Oh, okay. I see. I see the special treatment. You hear that, production? I know now. Things are known. So map number 1 is going to be Inferno versus LDLC versus GODSENT. Just looking at statistics, the last time we saw LDLC was actually week 1. They lost to Fnatic 16-4. So it wasn't really a good showing for them. GODSENT actually beat Heroic in week 1. So how do you see this map playing out?
I think the biggest pivot point for LDLC on this map is Toinu on the CT side with the AWP. And he basically gets to pick and choose where he wants to go, right? If he has a good spawn for Banana or he's feeling it, he's going to be over there, and they put an extra 2 players with him. I think it's Maniac and Devil to assist him in getting that map control. Or if he's feeling picking towards middle or the A site, he heads over there. Now, the problem with this kind of setup is if he isn't hitting his shots, then it doesn't seem like they have a lot to fall back on. And when you have your AWPer being so proactive and so aggressive on the CT side, if he's getting picked off, you're in a 4v5 situation straight away, and that's not where you really want to be. It's cliche, but I think banana control is obviously the most important part of this map, and it's something which, if they can get that AWP working on their CT side, LDLC might have a shot at slowing down any executes that GODSENT want to throw at them.
And also, when you talk about LDLC, obviously a big talking point is existence, right? And his understanding of the game as one of the great in-game leaders. And, you expect from his teams to be well coordinated on the T side, but we haven't really seen that in their first showing here at Pro League, whether it's down to miscommunication, right, or his players not really being able to properly execute the ideas that he has. It was definitely lackluster, so it's something that they are going to need to work on. Simply when you look at GODSENT, they are going to be very aggressive individually and as a team on the CT side. And if you can't cope with that, you might get overrun.
I think one of the good things with GODSENT going into this matchup, as well as the boot camping again, if I was looking at the social medias correctly, which seems to be
nice boot camping all the time.
Yeah, well, they just seem to go and play these matches together, right? And being in that environment, it's always taken a little bit more seriously. When you're playing from home, you can have people who are kind of wandering off, or maybe your mum comes in to put lasagna down on the table or something, even though it's your job.
To cook some mincemeat in the middle of the game.
Yeah, there's always stuff going on, right? But when you're in the same venue, it's a much more serious approach, and I think that's something which GODSENT can definitely use in these early days. And it's kind of like you're speeding up the process if you're spending each time like this and you're playing official matches, because everyone's the fist bumps, all that kind of stuff.
They just need a coach, Chad. They've been all over social media looking for one.
He is. Yeah, I saw Messioso was the coach. That's interesting, actually.
I don't think he is at the moment. I think he was just a band-aid, so to speak, for the whole major qualifier cycle. But now you've seen it on social media, the organization tweeting it and the players retweeting it.
I applied.
That sounds like a bit desperate, doesn't it? Like
would you apply?
No. Why would they want to coach them?
I don't know, money.
They can't pay me enough.
Oh, wow.
I can coach.
We're getting an insight into Janko here and how much he earns in his life and how comfortable he is. You get penthouses, he's getting paid millions. What am I getting?
We are analysts. We have the easiest lifestyle compared to casters. And desk hosts, they have it really hard.
Yeah, they do. That's why I'm here, to have fun. So do you think LDLC, I mean, going up against GODSENT, as GODSENT being the kind of new boys to the league, with LDLC being at rock bottom, 0-2, is this a pivotal moment in this season already for them? Because if they go 0-4 early on, then what does that say about the structure of their team?
That we expect them to come pretty low in the league and they're going to end up there regardless.
Okay.
The problem with LDLC is they just don't want to get relegated. They're never going to qualify. The fact of the matter is all they can maybe do is chip away at these higher teams and take maps off and then ruin the top 6 for everybody else.
LDLC is like a worse version of Heroic, so to speak, or a version that has less firepower. I think it's safe to say, they're not a team that's going to make the playoffs. They're a team that unfortunately is going to have their players picked off by some of the better teams later on. And you just don't see, especially in the French scene, the talent pool for LDLC to perhaps substitute some of their players with some up-and-coming, young gun, and that will give them the necessary firepower to, get a higher placing. I agree with Chad. Unfortunately for them, it's a matter of staying in the league and hoping that perhaps someone new will come up, which will eventually enable them to be a contender for that playoff spot.
But if they're not going to get there, are GODSENT the type of team that can make finals, do you think, Chad? Or
they're more in the middle of the pack. They could potentially surprise and upset here. The reason I say that is because we know that these top teams get upset, right? We saw Hellraisers beating Astralis the other week. So if that can continue happening and GODSENT just grinds and they're getting 1-1s against teams who were expecting to place in the top 6 and then they're 2-0ing the likes of LDLC and then the other teams, they trip and stumble, that's where things kind of look good for a squad like GODSENT, who at the start of the season I was expecting them to end middle to bottom of the pack, to be completely honest. But what I'm seeing from them so far and how competitive it seems to be, anything's possible. When we get to those last 2 weeks, there is a chance. And this is a good place for them to kind of show that they're doing a lot of work with Freddie.
It certainly seems like they've got some sort of comfort in this league. And maybe it would be a little bit of a miracle if they made finals, but it's definitely not something that's out of their reach. Would you say there's any players in particular, Janko, that we need to be looking out for on both rosters in this matchup?
I mean, from that previous GODSENT game, definitely look out for Twist. That guy is capable of many highlight moments by himself, and I think still GODSENT is in a position where they need plays like that to win games, whether it's from him, whether it's some great pistol play from Dennis, and so forth. They need great individual plays. While on the side of LDLC, it's not as clear-cut. They don't really have a big star on the team. Everyone has to pick up the slack. I would agree with Chad picking Tuanu simply because he's the Opper, and the Opper always can have at least a lot of impact on the game.
And what is it that's happened with GODSENT's roster? Because I understand there were some injuries and a few changes here and there, wasn't there recently?
I don't know about injuries.
It was Schneider.
I had eye surgery, right?
Yeah,
so he was just unable to play a couple of games, but I don't think it was in.
He's all better now?
Well, I don't know. I assume so. But I know that they used Pitt to stand in when they replaced Pronax.
And then Pronax stood in for Schneider for, I think, one day.
And then now Freddie's on the roster, and this is the proper team. So in terms of the team dynamic, they're probably in a much better place, and they're probably feeling more motivated, which is definitely a positive. But I think for this squad going forwards, we've said it. We're going to have to say it time and time again. It's just time, right? And this is the main league for GODSENT. This is the proving ground, so they should be taking this as serious as possible. Then it's not like they have to prepare for New York or all these other events at the moment. This is the be-all and end-all for them at the moment. So hopefully we see better things from them.
Yeah, and these are the games they need to win, of course, against LDLC, who are bottom at the moment. We spoke about teams that aren't going to get to finals. Who, realistically, do you think are the teams we should be looking out? I mean, discounting these teams today, of course, maybe you might think Big are going to get there. But, Janko, who do you think are the teams we might get to see at finals?
I think it's the usual suspects, right? The likes of FaZe, Astralis. I mean, you like to say also G2, right? Navi, perhaps, and North, teams like that. But there's always an upset when it comes to Pro League, simply because there are so many games to be played. It's online. There are a lot of teams that are specialists on at least one map, like Hellraisers on Overpass. If they can take down Astralis on Overpass, they can take down any team in the league on that particular map, which causes shuffles in the rankings. I mean, for last season finals, we didn't have Astralis or FaZe. I'm sure at the beginning of the season, if you ask someone and you want to bet that both of these teams won't make it, no one would take that bet.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be an upset, and now we see Fnatic. Me and Chad did like a prediction before week 1 who's going to make top 6 in our opinion, and neither of us had Fnatic on the list, and now they look like a very strong contender, not just because of their score, but also because of the way they play. So a lot of teams, there's still a lot of games to be played, but I think some of them have solidified at least their contention.
We certainly have our favourites, and I think not just in-game favourites, but everyone has their fan favourites as well. Do you think that like tournaments, like big tournaments, like you go into New York and stuff, does that affect teams coming into Pro League? So let's say you have a bad tournament, a major or a minor, and then you have to go to a weekly Pro League game as well. Is that going to affect your mentality?
Well, actually, we saw Astralis, who they didn't go as far in Malmo as they probably wanted to, right? They had a bit of a rough time there. It was the first time they didn't make top 4, right? Yeah. So for them coming into Pro League the next week, they actually came up against NIP as their first matchup, and they looked a lot hungrier. They looked well-rounded, very driven, and they didn't take any risks or make any mistakes, right? When they played up against a person who was eco and Pit on Inferno, for example, and one guy found him, he didn't just run for that kill on his own, he waited for his teammates, and they actually played a much better brand of Counter-Strike. But then to say that, a day later, they lost to Hellraisers on Overpass.
Well, they got outplayed by Hellraiser.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say, you know. Another thing is, I feel the bigger problem isn't the results you have or the performance you have at the tournament. I think it's the fact that you're coming from a tournament to an online game, and then some teams lack motivation in that scenario.
Well, we'll see if the two teams going up first will have any motivation, because I believe Game 1 is just about ready. It's going to be Inferno and our lovely casters, Pansy and Henry. Take it away.
I'm
there.
not as ghostly as I was before, you know.
It's kind of a little rouge, I think.
Yeah,
There's a little dash of it.
exactly. I'm still wearing my Greek wardrobe as well. Like I didn't have any laundry done for this one,
No.
so I had to just take the same suitcase, and here we are. So it's not going too well, but I'm ready.
Yeah, we get to go into Inferno, right?
Yeah.
Which you always like to see.
I do.
I don't know if these two teams will, be up to your caliber of expectations. Henry, I know you put a lot of weight on this sort of one.
It's a good way for me to get back into the swing of things, you know. Back in the Pro League, I haven't got to cast GODSENT with this current complexion, so interested to see that as well. Inferno is always my favourite map, and it's a pleasure to be back with you, Lauren. It's been a while since I casted, probably since last season, since we did it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We can have a little catch-up in a sec here, because already we're going to see a little bit of a stack. And say a little bit, it's probably a lot. We've got 3 to 4 players from GODSENT heading down from Banana, having a little bit of a battle to begin with. And LDLC happy to greet this, it seems, so far, as Devil taking most of the fight, but Disco Doppler starting to tip the scales with a little bit of a play towards A.
Lots of aggression here from the CTs towards that Banana area. It looks like GODSENT coming on top of the frags right now. Twanu does fight back slightly, but I do like the look of Maniac towards the apartments. But the bomb has been dropped. That should be the round concluded. Maniac won't be able to do much of this. If he gets even one frag here, still can't really win the round. The bomb is down. You know exactly where he is, and Disco Doppler just trying to stay alive here. He will tentatively duel him as much as he can. It's a nice dink, and finishes things off will be Twist coming in to back him up from quad. That's all Disco Doppler wanted to do, save as much time as possible. That's a very common strategy. GODSENT trying to challenge towards Banana at the very start, pushing down there. We did see some initial utility from LDLC, but couldn't find the shots required. And GODSENT, I definitely would say, in terms of skill ceiling, they're going to be outweighing LDLC across the board, and there we go, in the pistol round. They come up trumps, and they've obviously got Dennis as well, who's known as the best pistol player in the world, but he didn't actually find a frag, so that's good news.
It's always nice when everyone else can step up, but I do want to point something out as well. I was speaking to the coach, Messioso, about Schneider and how he's feeling coming into this. Apparently still not 100%, but didn't have time to get someone as a proper replacement yet, but Pitt might play their games again down the line if he's not feeling up to it. But aggression again, not too surprising when you've seen GODSENT as of late. These guys love to get in teams' faces, but really this hasn't gone too well. They're up against pistols, a bit of armor, and we know those pistols can work.
I'm not a fan of that aggressive play when you've got the UMPs against like CZs and armor as well. We've seen how prevalent the CZ is right now in the current meta, and pushing 2 CTs down to potentially 4 terrorists of CZs, like that's just a recipe for disaster. I prefer to hold up our crossfires and make them fully commit before you actually challenge, but still it is going to be a 4-on-4. LDLC have recovered a UMP. They go back towards middle. Maniac once again lurking in the apartments area. He could cause some damage here as they go up towards quad. Stop him to receive, but he can't get anything done.
Yeah, very isolated. Twist had to back away towards CT Arch. No one else was there. So again, overwhelmed, outdone, 4 alive. Bomb plant. This is very good for LDLC. Decent after plant positions. Obviously, the weaponry is not ideal, but it's more than manageable at this point. Dennis, Schneider, and Twist having to play this back through. Gonna try and find an avenue of approach. Very hard to play retakes, of course. Good flashes as well put out to greet them from LDLC. And that's a shutdown. That's got to be frustrating for GODSENT. But you already highlighted you didn't like how they approached that round.
Yeah, it's the aggression with the UMPs versus the CZ. I think that's almost equal in terms of firepower. Sure, you have a few more bullets in the magazine, but pushing down there, it's obviously straight lines, and it's very 50-50. If you wait for the Ts to fully commit, then obviously they've got to go for the choke point. You're almost challenging them in the choke point yourself, and you don't have the numbers to work with there. They've got the first frag, then the CZs pushing through, running gun with that weapon. I think you're just better off just holding up and waiting for the Ts to make the first move. But there we go. LDLC do strike back, and there will be the force buy in return by GODSENT. The Swedes looking to dish out equal sort of treatment.
Oh, Dennis. He's actually been a little underwhelming for me. I think we can go back to that in a point. His games previous weren't up to scratch, but a player that was definitely Twist. He was my highlight player that we got to watch recently. That pistol round he pulled off was just outstanding. He's been incredibly good. The clutch that he had on Overpass was probably the craziest thing I've seen in a very long time. So again,
I missed all of this.
Yeah, no, it was one of those that just kind of blows your mind. So again, really excited to see if he maybe has a little bit of that performance here today, but obviously hard to replicate. But a stack from GODSENT to a degree. You still have Freddie B over on that B side. We had a little bit of a glimmer of over at Gfinity.
Yeah, he's a former Epsilon player, of course, and apparently one of the hottest prospects in Sweden right now. And here he is in GODSENT. It's going to be an equal exchange for now, though. We still have the advantage for LDLC. Freddie B, Desert Eagle holding towards the B site, if you will. There you go. And they head back towards that area. He's in a decent position at the barrels, but can't find the shots just yet. He has to challenge this, really. He can't really hold back. He won't be able to stop a full assault to the site. Existence takes him down, and that should be the round done. It will be Disco rotating in. They might just be better off saving their Deagle, CZs, and head armor here. They're not going to win this round.
No, it looks like Disco Doplin's a little hungry to get maybe some exits. You can see him kind of pulling back a touch now, as you're limited on options and what you're going to achieve. If they could get one of the rifles away, that'd be brilliant, but you're kind of clutching at straws there. But Freddie B, got to say, must be quite difficult coming into a lineup like this, taking over the in-game leader role. It's a lot of new things to take into account, and so far he seems to be doing quite well with this roster.
Well, you're picking up the reins from Pronax as well, one of the most celebrated in-game leaders the game's ever seen, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't get anything done with this lineup. Like, this has been a very disappointing and underwhelming project so far. Freddie B, sure, he had some success with Epsilon, but he's hardly been known to have a lot of experience at this sort of tier. So I said these things will take time. I'm not expecting amazing stuff out of them straight away, but sure, it'll be something they can build upon. It didn't work out with Pronax for whatever reason, and we'll see what he can do going forward. But he's always been known as a very skilled player, and I think that's something Pronax was lacking. Sure, he brought a lot of tactical expertise with him, but he definitely dropped off. Even in his heyday with Fnatic, he wasn't known as a big fragger. In this lineup, even less so.
Yeah, and that's what kind of surprised us in the first couple of times we got to see Freddie B. He was really putting up numbers as well, very involved. And speaking to some of the old Epsilon players as well, they were saying that, you know, he got a little sick of in-game leading, but maybe this is the kind of a better puzzle to work with, right? Better pieces to put onto the board. So maybe this is a nice refresher for him as well. But so far for LDLC, I'm curious to see how well this goes for them, because for me, they're a little bit of a surprise factor last season. They had a really good start occasionally, upset a couple of teams. They weren't going to change the world, but it was fun to watch. Now, Schneider and Disco Doplin really should be the only ones doing damage, and so far, the first strike hits well. Disco Doplin gets a rifle, gets out, perfect hit.
Maniac's always in the apartments by himself, and you know that's going to be a guaranteed position. You're going to find a frag. We've got that armor, the CZ. It's worth the jewel. I've casted LDLC a few times now on this map, and Maniac, even on the pistol rounds, he'll be there by himself, trying to just show presence, but that shouldn't be too much trouble for them. Devil actually goes in towards B by himself. That's an audacious play. Goes through TD spawn and gets towards the ruins as well. He'll be just holding that area. You can see his teammates getting ready to pounce towards the A side, but it hasn't forced that much of a rotation. Dennis and Disco actually still waiting here with the AK-47 as well.
Yeah, this could be quite scary. Now, Schneider even finding Devil, that kind of keeps things on a level playing field here. LDLC going to be encouraged to hit this towards the weaponry, towards Disco Doplin, and if only he got that follow-up kill, everything could have been different. But now LDLC still have a certain chance in this. But Dennis, again, could unravel it all, but checked on Existence is having none of that. Again, LDLC just about keeping this round together. It's not looking perfect still. Bear in mind, Existence is very low. Still has a Molotov to buy some time, and Alex is sitting pretty. He could be the one to keep this all together if required.
Yeah, Alex, certainly a skilled player. It's a nice crossfire as well. We do have low HP for Existence, but the most important thing is no kits available for the CTs. Surely they can't win this round. It's going to take a huge blunder from the T's here, and it doesn't look like it'll be delivered just yet. Alex finds a headshot on towards Freddie B, and then a second as well. You pointed out Alex had to be the protagonist there, managing to step up, and that's going to be the 3-1 for LDLC. GODSENT made things a little bit uncomfortable, especially when Disco Doplin gets out the AK-47, but it had to be that second frag, I think, towards Quad. That could have been the real chance.
Most certainly, but we are back into the, I guess, more exciting parts of the game, where hopefully we have a decent buy. We've got a MAC-10 on Devil still, UMP on Alex. up against a relatively decent buy from GODSENT. Not perfect, bit of head armor, but still, this could be an interesting one to see how they use Devil in this.
Sure. We'll see what they can do, yeah. Considering there are 3 unarmored heads for GODSENT, the MAC-10 can actually be quite deadly. And this is the sort of round, you know, the CT economy is low. You want to throw something out a little bit quicker, perhaps. Just stay as a 5-man unit, overwhelm the lack of utility they potentially have. Certainly won't have the AWP. And here we go towards middle. They know Maniac plays towards the apartments, as we said before. Staying alive for now, and the smokes are deployed.
Disco Doplin's got 5 bullets in that clip. He could be in real trouble. Twist trying to go anti-flash here. LDLC are right at the door. They find one. That's Disco Doplin taking down Alex, but Twist was the ace up the sleeve. They didn't expect him. And now, brilliant play from Twist. Didn't even realize through the smoke, but the spam's enough, catching him just before he could plant there. But again, GODSENT hold on. Even though the flashes were good, no one kind of, I guess, corralled Pit into any unthinkable predicament.
That's quite impressive from Twist, I have to say, especially the last shot as well. Just straight up through the smoke. And that's a very common strategy, as I said. From LDLC, they know they've got the control of the round. They can dictate the pace. They want to do something quick as a 5-man unit, and it's overwhelmed, stifle the CTs on the other side. Now we really get into it. It's the first real gun round here with the AWP for Twanu. It'll be interesting to see how he operates with that on the T side of Inferno. GODSENT still establishing themselves. They've still got UMPs, which is absolutely fine on Inferno. Lots of close-range encounters available. But Devil, he wants to get up close and personal. He takes down Schneider at the banana area. Freddy B trying to fight back. He did have 3 players at the B side to kick things off, so they'll keep 2 there for now and see whether LDLC commits.
My eyes do look towards Twanu as to what he can do here. Always been quite an interesting one for me. I know he was looked at by a lot of the kind of players around the upcoming scene as well as AWPers to watch, but he didn't, kind of exceed expectation, but he always kind of held his own. He was someone that did quite nicely until the very end of the last season. But for now, let's see how this round unfolds. We still have 2 players to each side of things. GODSENT, of course, having Dennis and Freddy B together over by B, and on towards A, we have Twist and Disco Doplin. Probably very well aware now and kind of well versed in the fact that Maniac will be slowly but surely lingering through those halls. But where are the others? What are they up to? They have 5 alive. They still have their smokes. They still have a couple of flashes. LDLC, they can define a lot of pace, but that's something they didn't expect. Twist just about pinching one coming through there. That's on towards Twanu. Bit of an unfortunate situation. Now they're going 1 by 1. This is very disjointed. This is not what you'd expect from a team with existence in their individual mistakes maybe being punished, or just Twist really getting them going. So now GODSENT, huge upper hand here.
Not what I expected there from LDLC. Very disappointed. We're going for the pincer on the A side. Maniac striking back once again from the apartments. Make it a double.
Nice.
It's going to be a 3-on-2, so the mistakes may be rectified at this point as well. It's going to be Freddy B and Dennis on the retake here. They've only got Incendiary to work with. They have got the kit in the back pocket of Freddy, but so much work to do here. There's a smoke available for Maniac. Presumably he drops that towards the arch, but he is holding Boiler right now. Here comes that aforementioned Incendiary. On the bomb side, quite like that. Flashman will go over presumably as well, and they'll give it a go, locking Devil in the corner.
Well, we'll see if he can fight his way out of that hell right now. Dennis already going to find existence, so he's going to be feeling a little lonely here. The leap of faith from Dennis, it's questionable at best. Freddy B put everything towards his shoulders, but Maniac really does prevail there.
Yeah, that's not bad at all from Maniac. Once again, in the apartments. You can see why he likes that position so much and why he finds himself there every single time. That was the opening pick from LDLC towards Banana. They found Schneider, and at that point, it seemed that the round was going to fall apart. They were getting picked off 1 by 1, as you pointed out as well, looking like they were kind of disjointed at that point. They weren't really sure what their final plan was, but Maniac, he picked up the pieces, and they got themselves a huge lead now. It has to be a full eco for GODSENT. They've got P250s. Once he said no armor this time, no nades, so shouldn't be too much of a difficult round here for the French side. I say French side. Not that French. But Swiss, Belgian, British.
He's a fake Brit.
Yeah.
He admits it. He's happy with that. Doesn't really want to be associated with us. Don't really blame him.
Enough.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it is a bit of a mixture. We'll allow them to apply the French tag if they want to.
Yeah.
But don't blame them for not going for it either. Again, interesting position Devil got left in as well after the whole French shuffle. But speaking of Devil, going to find 2. Just going to build up the bank. Nice little way to round out the economy. There is one more man waiting towards B. That's Schneider. He has been here the whole time, generally playing on that B site. But I wonder if they'll check on this. He's just waiting in the smoke. Maybe going to find a gun or 2, but no, nothing to be claimed here. Twanu's going to find him. And all in the meantime, the rest of LDLC not really moving. They've just unleashed the hounds towards B.
Well, Twist, the last player remaining. Not the most honourable of approaches here. Just staring into a wall, hoping they don't check, and then you'll get a little ratty kill at the end. But
ratty kill at the end. You can tell you've been casting with Alex when ratty kill
comes
out.
True. That is kind of one of something he'd say, isn't it? Didn't work out for him, and it will be 5-2 for LDLC. Has to be another eco here. And here's the replay of Yates here. Slow motion sound as well. I like that.
That was, yeah, it's lovely. Not jolting at all.
And Max 7 CZW said another eco. And a banana rush. You love this. It could get a little bit dicey with the seeder there at the sandbags, but it's going to be Maniac having a good game. Hello, the utility out of nowhere. It's all going wrong. 3 kills to the CTs. Existence and Devil trying to fix this situation. This is why I always say, Lauren, when you know you're up against weak buys, rushing B is such a massive blunder, in my opinion. You don't know if you're into the stacks, the nades, you have no idea, and this is the prime example of how it can fall apart.
Well, this might go from bad to worse. Disco Doplin's watching the back, so none of the GODSENT boys are going to move, and there it is. Nailed to the coffin comes from the CZ, and what an absolute blunder. Schneider, not in the best of form right now, you know, personally not feeling completely up to task, but still able to deliver when he's asked the question of, and yeah, what a mistake coming out from LDLC.
Yeah, Banana Rush, like, if it works and like, they don't stack there, it looks fine. You see, obviously that's viable, but when you're up against a CT side who got CZs and potentially... Oh, an auto, just to point out before I get into that, Schneider's got an auto sniper on Inferno, which is a questionable double orb map. He brought out the... Is that a thing? I guess you can wallbang the wall at the top of B.
Yeah?
That's something, but I've never seen this before. This is a new idea. A new concept. What's he going to be doing with this? Is this a misbuy?
I don't know. He's got a nice little off angle. Again, you can wallbang through the coffins, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of a glimmer and you just spam it out. You know, this is a lovely theory, but when Maniac keeps having success on the other bomb site, it gets a little annoying. But Twist is there to even it out, but LDLC are already going to respond. Running themselves up mid, going to get towards CT Arch. That's Existence. Twist again, though. This guy's becoming my MVP so quickly. Loved what he did before, and I'm looking like I'm going to love it again. Already eyeing up the next possible hit coming through. He knows they've already kind of come around this way. They're already starting to consider it, but Maniac...
How is he doing this?
I don't know. You'd think they'd realize by now, but this guy's so good at playing out of here.
Yeah, every single time it's a headshot. 3-on-3 now. Just Dennis to lie in wait with the AK-47. Has to make something happen here. There's one, but it's not going to be enough to win the round just yet. Twanu with a Tech 9 takes down Freddy B as well. And here comes the aforementioned auto sniper. All right, that's coming in.
That's a thing, Henry.
Like, the retake with the AWP, like, is a nightmare. I guess it's a little bit better with the auto sniper, but I'm not really believing at this point, especially with no kit. We'll see if he can get anything done here. I think because he hasn't shown his hand with that weapon yet, he hasn't fired a bullet, maybe just fall back and save it, and like save it as like a secret sort of weapon. Like,
I can hear the pain just in your voice a little bit.
Experimental tactics for the next round.
I don't know.
Because they're going to be reset now, right? They did win in Nico before, but the reinvestment still took 3 players down to 0. There it is.
Well, that's cost them 1 player. Orp's going to still stay on to Devil, so he can keep hold of that. But I don't know what the intention is here with Schneider. This could be a misbuy. This could be a bit of anything. I don't know. You know what? It's online CS. It's GODSENT against LDLC.
You think like it's a very execution-based map, and we do have wallbangs available. Like there is some sense behind it. It's just it's never been done in top-tier CS before, right? It's like a weapon that went out of fashion in about 2014. That's when everyone stopped using it. It's still good. Like it still kills people, right? But it's just
so expensive.
It's expensive, and like and it's limited. Like it's not as powerful as AWP, but maybe he's got something to see. He's got some positions he likes to use, and we'll see whether he can get something going before I really cast judgment.
We'll see.
You know?
Again, it looks like he's going to the off angle where he can spam through coffin, so it does look like he's got an intention to it.
Exactly.
There's been a couple of players who've toyed with it. I think Exist has had a little go with it once or twice on NIP. He likes to
it's like round
mess
number 15,
around
he'll
with
bring
it.
it out. And when they've got an advantage, he'll do that.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of caught our attention when you're at 3-6 and you know you're not leading. So we'll see. This could be the first real challenge for it, or at least a moment it could shine. You've got Twanu on the other side, possibly Devil's there with him, and the rest of GODSENT are just stacked out towards A. I guess if you've got something like that in your arsenal, why not try and put it into a position where you might be able to use it? Dennis has the AWP as well. Interesting that happening over maybe Twist, but that smoke's completely negated the position. But something that wasn't checked on was the close apartments. Now, this is a problem for Schneider. Someone's already slipped through towards the ruins, and I don't know if he just caught a glimpse of him going towards a pillar. He's seen him now. Good work again. Falls back around, but deep smoke's come in. You won't be able to get away with this sort of position time and time again. But LDLC haven't actually hit there. They've kind of stumbled over the building blocks.
You can see what he's trying to do as well. Even when he's smoked out, he can spam the even an initial coffins in front of him to stop the plant going through. So there is some signs behind this madness, and it will be the final play towards the B side here. Terra is looking a little bit out of their depth. Another smoke deployed. It's a Macdown on the other side, pushing through, and 2 kills coming in. The auto sniper does go down, but Dennis is still on the other side. They can still win this round.
Yeah, Tswanu there probably enjoying that one. Right through the smoke, going to find him, but it is retake time for the CTs. Not too easy either. Disco Doplin's quite far away, but Dennis is doing enough. Alex goes down. Tswanu in existence now trying to lock this one out. Tswanu again lands another. He needs to follow up though, and he can't do it. It's existence now left in the 1v2, and Dennis does it all himself. Brilliant stuff from him. I questioned him with the AWP, but hey, what do I know? Normally it's Twist being the headliner, but no, Dennis this time more than happy to be up to the task.
Yeah, Dennis can dabble with the AWP. In the Fnatic lineups, he was like sometimes a secondary AWP for the squad as well, so certainly proficient with the weapon. 6-4, it's a big round for GODSENT there. Looking like it could have fallen apart, and they recovered the auto sniper, and it's back out again. So this is something they really want to kind of force. They want to be on this setup. And here's Dennis with the final shot. The no-scope to finish things off as well. So a weird buy here, Lauren. It's going to be Freddy B with an MP7, a Mag 7 for Disco Doplin, an auto sniper for Schneider. This is one of the strangest Counter-Strike rounds I've seen in a long time. Will be the force wipe from LDLC. They've got the CZ, the Tech 9s, and the AK-47s with a mixed bag of utility as well. Why Freddy B gets to the MP7, I'm not quite sure, but we'll see what he can do with it.
Oh, I know the MP7's coming into fashion again.
It is a decent weapon. It's just like it's not as popular as still the UMP, but
yeah. Well, Freddy B might be taking a little bit of that. Oh, Twist isn't a fan of it. He's like, no, you've ruined everything, and now he feels bad enough that he's going to die himself. That's gone terribly wrong. But at least there's this. This is the weirdest sort of purchase and combination. You've got a team kill, an MP9. I don't know what to say anymore.
It's very chaotic, there, isn't it?
It's not pretty, is it?
Oh, the dink through the smoke there. It's still going to be Dennis with enough health to work with. Didn't hit him up too hard, and there's Maniac finally being punished in the apartments area. Shotgun can't quite find the damage required. Now Alex got a chance to win this big round. He's got 2 HP up against Schneider, who had the auto sniper, looking to upgrade it. I guess in this sense, it goes to MP7. And Alex only on 2 HP. It kind of works. Now finds the M4. And Alex with the AWP. He just wants to find that one-shot kill. Doesn't really want to take an aim duel with the AKs. Looking towards Library, hoping he's gifted the opportunity of someone is walking through. And single click required. But Schneider's coming from top and middle.
All right, Schneider. That nade finding its place would do the job. Not this time, though. Slowly creeping his way in. Alex is committed. He's just going to sit there and wait to see. And will Schneider see the gun barrel? Will he spot it out? He's not checked deep enough to the side. He's trying to bait this through, but the bomb's ticking. I don't know if he's got enough time really to go for this anymore. Oh my god, no, Alex! Oh god, they both messed it up a bit.
Why would he get off the bomb?
What else was he going to do?
That doesn't make any sense. So for anyone who might not be aware why I was surprised there, the bomb was going to explode. He could have defused that if he just holds it, right? And you just pray that he doesn't slash with a knife. As soon as you hear him slashing, sure, you can get off and kill him, but then you definitely can't win the round. Like, even if you kill him, that's nothing. Like, if you just hold it and pray, you might win. It's unlikely, but you still could have done it. That was a very weird decision to get off the bomb at that point. But there it is. It will be LDLC winning the round, thanks to Alex. Technically a 3-on-1 situation there, finding 2 quick frags on the A-bomb side, 2 HP, and just outplaying there. Schneider, maybe playing himself, considering he smoked the bomb, and then didn't go for the full defuse.
Yeah, a little awkward twist here. Probably going to be overrun. By probably, I mean very, very likely. You've got a whole squad of players who are going to split through CT Arch. 4 of them with a late play from existence. Dennis towards Library and Schneider on the prowl towards Spawn again. It's just LDLC splitting themselves quite thin here, but they should be able to hold the angles and see if any of the GODSENT players do take a little bit of a wander back in. And everyone was watching that for a second, and actually Twanu's going to find Dennis, and now it's all being cleaned up. They're being found out, they're being spotted, and Freddy B's your last man. Now he's having a little wander down Banana, but if anything, he's going to have a little bit of trouble with Devil, who's also sitting relatively pretty, but no, he just works his way through him. But let's look at this. All in all, Twanu is low, Maniac is low, but you're probably not going to get through this many players.
Probably not.
No.
It will be the 4-on-1. Freddy B going to be hunted down. almost certainly now they know exactly where he is. Maniac's coming from the ruins area as well. That's fast play from LDLC, like we said, going up towards the arch side, splitting through CT Spawn. We've got that big old banana split. And will be the half one at this point for LDLC, looking quite dominant as the force buy for GODSENT doesn't really work out at all. 1 kill picked up, and that's beyond a full eco now, round number 13, 2k per player. Just PT50s and maybe a Deagle or two, that's all they'll have to work with here. Twist for the Deagle, known to be very good with that weapon, but I don't think there's any world where they win this round, maybe a couple of kills at best.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. But so far, very, very weird matchup it feels. It just doesn't quite feel like a normal CS game by either side's margin. Now, we know the GODSENT like an aggressive game of CS. That you kind of expect a little bit more of this kind of crazy around sometimes, but LDLC are normally a bit more structured, but it seems that they've come in with a bit of a weird mentality too.
So you've got a new in-game leader in the form of Freddie B, and the first port of call for him is, you know what, boys? I'm thinking the auto-sniper. That's where we need to be going with this CT side of Inferno. I know it's out there, it's avant-garde, but I want to be bringing that to our game. Like, it's just that's something like when you're really established on Inferno, you you want to mix things up and have like the Hail Mary round. Sure. You have that set up. Like, you don't want to have that as your initial building blocks, right, for Inferno. That just doesn't feel correct to me, but we'll see where they go with it.
I wonder if it makes a return at any point during this game. It's looking a little unlikely.
They've tried it twice. They bought the weapon twice now. So
I guess it is a mainstay of sorts. We are down to 2 now for GODSENT. Freddie B and Twist looking to maybe see if they can do some damage here. An unlikely situation as Freddie B tries to back out, but Alex hunts him down. So all in all, nice round for LDLC. The SMGs racking up the funding. 8k now sitting on Alex, always nice. On the other side, at least we'll get a decent buy here, but not the perfect buy, but good enough. Bit of utility if you want to forego having the M4 of any sort. So we'll see Schneider having to slip down to that.
Yeah, his money wasn't in the best of states. Twist probably has to work a little bit harder for the frags this round. We know he can be aggressive and flashy with the AWP. His teammates under-equipped and not having enough utility to work for it. They are going to go aggressive. It's going to be Disco Doppler pushing down towards the T-steps here, tucked in by the bench. You can hear players in front of him. The Devil seems to be aware. Existence beats him to the punch, though. Takes down the first player once again, and this has been the headline of this map so far in the first half. LDLC finding the first pick and then capitalizing with it. Schneider, he's going to try and push towards the T-steps, and it might be too little too late, I'm afraid. Kills coming in aplenty for the French side, and it's going to be a 5-on-2 as quick as that.
What a lovely springboard of a start as well. As soon as you take down the one player and towards middle, you just hammer it through. They've, you know, credit where it's due. At least they just took the advantage and ran with it. No hesitation on it. Schneider will alleviate some pressure, but by now this is pretty much all over. LDLC actually walking away a little bit prematurely from the site, you'd feel almost here, but Freddie B not really taking matters into too much of a predicament. He is going to be found in the end by Existence. And again, I'm a little surprised that GODSENT kind of crumbled so easily. They had that one little bit of a gambit, and when it doesn't work out, well, they just got stormed over. They were run over completely. So, last round of the half, and this has been one of those games that, I don't know, it's not one that's going to be down in the books for being, you know, a classic matchup here.
Tactical timeout to try and see out the last round. Money not great once again. GODSENT have to force into it, of course. I can see a UMP, a couple of those coming into the fray with some M4s as well. That was the aggressive round. They tried to do what they could towards the bottom and middle. Didn't really work out for them. They made quite a lot of noise. Existence finds the first shot. As you pointed out, just being assertive, going out to 5-man unit, and it's Maniac who's just doing such a strong job from the apartments. He must be having a hell of a game. He's only got 11 frags, but he feels like they've been the opening ones and impactful frags from that side of the map. It's going to be Alex at the top with 14. He's had a couple of clutches under his belt. Disco Doppler 5 kills, Freddie B 6. At the top of the scoreboard is Schneider, the auto sniper player. And we'll see whether he can continue as we get into the final round here. We do need 10-5, I think, for GODSENT. From what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem like everything's really established so far on the CT side of Inferno.
No, it definitely doesn't. Kind of hoping this will just be LDLC's choice. Coming into this, the veto system's certainly complex to go through, but all that aside, I kind of hope this is more an LDLC-favoured sort of affair, and when we go into Overpass, we might see something a little bit stronger. But for now, back and forth. Disco Doppler going to find a little bit of that LDLC blood to smear around, but that's about it. Everyone else is kind of waiting back. Twist feeling very lonely by A. He's the only one here. And the last two players for GODSENT stacked towards B. But you can see as soon as LDLC notice this, they are right off. Straight away heading towards A. And now Twist, with nothing in hand, no flashes, nothing to make a play with. He just has to hold it off with the CZ. And, well, that's not going to happen. Devil's there, Existence is there. And as a pack, LDLC work out that A site well. Bomb planted, smokes up. And GODSENT left reeling.
Round over, I'm afraid. Might as well go for it. Get some consolation frags, perhaps. Freddy B, Schneider. Can't save this time. UMP and the M4 in hand. Just flash in, take a deep breath, hope for the best. Don't think it's going to end up well for them. It's going to be Devil and Mania to finish things off, and there it is. LDLC 11, GODSENT 4. A strange half of Counter-Strike there, Lauren. One I can't really dissect too well for you. I think they're experimenting with some new tactics that didn't really seem to pay off. We'll see if they've got anything more interesting on the second half, as we'll take a quick break and come back with the second half here on Inferno.
Why would he get off the bomb? What? (11-4) on the half. A little bit of a weird game, I think, is all we can really surmise so far. Things could change coming into the second here, but at present, LDLC putting up a bit of resistance, if I'm honest. GODSENT quite aggressive, very in their face, very unique, but didn't really stick it. You know, only walking away with 4 rounds. I think you summarised that 10-5 would have been manageable. That's a workable scoreline. 4 is pretty tough to grind through. Yeah,
it puts a lot of pressure on winning the pistol. If that doesn't happen, the game pretty much is over. So we'll pray that GODSENT can do something about this one. We'll see. Like we said, some pretty interesting stuff coming on the CT side in terms of their tactical approach. What have they got for us on the offense? We'll have a look as we get into round number 1 here. And have a look at the buy. I can see HE's, Lauren, which suggests they will be rushing Banana, double HEing the top, smoking CT spawn, flashing the side, and trying to overwhelm any CT aggressiveness, which will be coming in as well. LDLC don't have a kit or any nades, 5 sets of armor. They will be challenging and contesting choke points.
Well, I'm pretty sure we saw this before from GODSENT, and I'm wondering if LDLC are aware of this. They are being very passive. They've heard the nuke go off now, so they're aware of what's coming their way. Smoke goes in now. Maniac's in a good spot for this still. Devil keeps attention turned, but let's see when Maniac chooses to strike. He does get spammed out in the end. He gets a bit of contact, but no one's checking on this. Maniac, again, getting away with murder. 2 kills back-to-back, falls away for a bit of respite. Now, the site will be under GODSENT control. The bomb probably planted as soon as possible, but the retake looks likely. 5 players to 3. GODSENT have to work out those choke points, bring that CZ to bear, and, well, hope the Glocks land, but this has been a bit of a mare. It's all fallen apart in the end, and LDLC, 3 alive and a defuse.
Well, that's not bad at all, is it? A little bit disappointing from the GODSENT boys. They're not checking towards that boost position whatsoever. They didn't even think that could be a possibility. Like he said, Maniac, he gets away that first frag, and you think, okay, he's going to drop off now, but Gifted another, like, 3-4 seconds. Wow. We'll have a look at this one. So he's spamming here. You think, where's the communication? Why is no one wasn't even thinking about it? It's just like, well, he'll probably drop off, and then he gets 2 kills, and then the much-needed pistol round for GODSENT doesn't come through. They do get the bomb down, though, so they can buy up in the 3rd round. So it has to be the full eco for this one. They'll go down 13-4. They have got a couple of PT-50s to work with here, but I don't think much will get done. And LDLC are prepared for the AKs. Just as I said, though, Twist might do something about this one. They get 3 M4s out, but Maniac has dropped.
He did that from the bottom, like T-stairs.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating, I can imagine.
That at all.
No, they could swarm this. Again, if Twanu oversteps here, goes a little too close towards quad. It's very easy to be isolated. They don't have a flash left or anything, GODSENT, so it is just, you know, power in numbers more than anything. Freddy B very alone, splitting through CT, and actually he might be able to get a bit of attention going. Tries to pull Twanu towards his eyes, and actually, oh god, this is kind of working out. They have Glocks, they had a P250, and they've managed to take down 3 members. They've got a bomb plant. Existence, please, Devil, please do something about this. Right now, we're actually seeing a round go the way it should never.
P250s and Glocks, no armor, no nades, and you're actually going to win the round. That's insane. If we can have a look at that frag at the very start from Twists, like you said, it was like from T-steps with a P250. I guess Maniac trying to get the first frag, and just like he's knowing they're going to be full eco, he's trying to have a bit of flair at the start, get the first kill, get the confidence flowing. But this is the second time now LDLC have lost against pretty much full ecos, and this is a bit of an anomaly. It's very strange for this round to go in favour of the T's, but they can't believe their luck. They were getting AKs down the third, and now they've got a full advantage here. LDLC will have a bit of money left over considering they have the M4 saved, but this could be a turning point now.
Here we go. Is this going to be the... This is from Maniac's perspective.
So he pushed down Banana.
Christ.
Yeah, he did get wrecked.
He got really outdone. And do you know what? I don't mind... we do see rounds going that way, but not the full... ecoed up round with 1 P250 and a flash, really. It's very bare bones. So brilliant to watch, though. Good stuff to Twist again, be able to find that and then exploit the rest of them. Yeah, nice. Twist going to flash in towards Banana, set the play up for Disco Doppler, but there's a smoke already into play. So again, LDLC just kind of being put on notice more than anything now.
This is exactly what happened in the first half as well. The CTs, remember, they went aggressive in the second round.
And they lost on Banana.
And they lost a round, and then LDLC had done the same thing, and they've lost the round to just P250s and Glocks. Maybe we should stop going aggressive with Banana to farm frags at the start. Let's just hold back. Maybe we'll give that a go.
Sure, that sounds reasonable,
Let's
Henry.
be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah. I don't know if that really works in CSGO these days. It sounds, you know, far too sane. But it does seem as though we are going to be seeing a little bit of a toy towards A, but limited commitment. You've got Freddy B up there pretty much, and everyone else is backing, and they've caused the rotate. They've done very nicely at this. Schneider's got the bomb, and I think they've realised what's happening. Devil and Maniac going to head all the way back over, but GODSENT, I think, have tripped over themselves a little bit here. They're kind of going back and forth. Are they doing the double fake? I don't know if that's maybe because they heard the steps going back from Speedway, but Freddy B now goes down. That's a bit of a problem, but they can wrap through CT Arch. They can still isolate the two sides here. Devil and Maniac towards one, Alex and Existence to the other, but already you can see the pressure coming in from CT Arch, and it's worked well. Disco Doppler delivers, and again, it's Dennis there with Freddy B. Bomb's going to go down, and really, LDLC being kind of run around here.
Very good stuff there from GODSENT. Nice synergy. Facing areas together, giving 2 targets in every encounter, managing to overwhelm the CTs and forcing them to save once again. Nothing Maniac or Devil can do about this one, apart from save that lesser weapon. You see Devil with the UMP. Maniac has got the M4A4 now, to be fair. About 3 players surviving for GODSENT. We might have a game on our hands at this point. LDLC probably will not be forcing into the next round. I think someone's just dropped out the server as well, so we might have a technical pause into the next round.
You'd love to see it.
We might be okay. Maybe it's just a quick retry. I'm not sure.
Who dropped? Freddy. I think Freddy dropped, so yeah, we'll see if he comes back in time. No matter what, it's not the end of the world. Might give a little bit of time for them to consider what's been going on here, because this is a very turbulent game, very, very unique in its own way. I think the first half kind of certainly was the prime example of it, but we're seeing it kind of bleed into this half too, and we do have the technical timeout. So I'm going to wait on Freddy B to rejoin us here.
We will indeed. It's an online game, everyone on different internet connections, and some things can go wrong. But he looks like he's back in, and we won't be too delayed here.
Yeah, do GODSENT play in the office as well? Because they're under refresh.
That's right, but no, they don't. They're Swedish, right? Refreshes in Copenhagen.
So yeah, so I guess they don't have the the LAN atmosphere.
Yeah, a bit of a nightmare to fly everyone in for
day.
a free Pro League match. Yeah, I think maybe for probably big qualifiers they might do it, but. No, I'd imagine not. Well, maybe a week before a tournament.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Let's see how this is going to cause a bit of a knock-on. Because LDLC, they've been suffering here. They've been completely outdone by GODSENT, who looks a little shaky on their CT side, maybe over-aggressive, you could argue, maybe given a couple of opportunities to LDLC, but the aggression seems to be working well here. It's got that nice balance to it.
Well, this should be around going in their favour. UMP, the Devil, saving the previous. Devil always been an interesting character within the CSGO scene, obviously. It was a controversial signing for Envious last year, and it never really got going at all, did it? I think they won one event, which you were out with the Gfinity one, right?
God knows, Henry.
Last year, it was against like Epsilon Mouse Sports. There's the only event
Maybe.
Epsilon really, Envy has really won.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. There it is. It finally clicked into place.
In?
Shut up, I'm old. It all blurs into one.
It was a 4-team tournament. That's pretty much all they won with him in the team.
Yeah, that was when Oscar, had the land crumble still, and it's great to see the kind of difference in time now from what's happened there.
He's got MVP in Mykonos.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, he was having a struggle there.
Yeah, very, very impressive. So actually, they are in a GODSENT office. So they are.
They have there's a GODSENT office as well. Well,
apparently so.
I had no idea.
Near Stockholm. So
cool.
Always good to get a little bit of info on the fly. Thank you, Messioso. Get to coach in the team. Don't watch the stream.
Yeah.
12-6 though, and this should be another round for GODSENT. They seem very much in control here. Bit of a stack from LDLC. Now, wonder if they can maybe get something away from this. There is still Maniac as the little ace up the sleeve. Existence is going to strike. That's Schneider gone. Dennis is a little low, but Freddie B is keeping it all together. But here you go. Let's see what Twanu could do, playing from right from the back from not so new box. But he does go down, and in the end, GODSENT keep 3 alive.
Nice work by GODSENT, starting to come together now. T-side looking much more beneficial for them, but now they might be tested. To be fair, they're taming LDLC quite nicely. They can't really get a full buyout. They'll get a partial one through, and they're actually going to be giving out 3 rounds in a row there. Still not feeling comfortable to go all in. But this is fine. They still have this substantial lead right now. They don't want to just keep force buying and limiting themselves. That's how you actually throw the game. Give away a few rounds short, and partial buy, not a problem here. You can still win these rounds with the UMPs and the CZ. They kept themselves at about 2K per player. They have 4th state loss bonus next round, which is $2,900.
Look at this. They are right down the bottom mid as well. And peekaboo from Dennis. Does all right on the first, and then the rest don't go so well.
No. It was a nice attempt, LDLC, but completely shut down. It's going to be 4 kills coming in. Maniac, the final player remaining, waiting in the corner. He'll be smoked out. Get 1 frag, just get another $600. That'd be something, but I don't think that's going to happen. It will be the bomb. And T-Steps, nice, patient and disciplined play. So if I'm GODSENT not running around, they know every kill that goes down will have some sort of repercussion. And there we go. Disco Doppler watching the flank, making sure no one pushes behind, and that's the correct move. Should be the guaranteed frag any second now. Oof,
Christ.
A bit dicey, but got it in the end.
Yep, all done. You can see the little shake of the mouse going, Jesus, that was a little too close. And yeah, all in all, good stuff from GODSENT. As soon as it was kind of unraveled, as soon as they got that first contact, everyone kind of crumpled towards it. But this is the buy coming in from LDLC, something that we hadn't seen for a while. The turbulent start into this game certainly kind of hampered that coming through. But now we get to see at least the decent purchase. Twanu on the AWP. Maniac's a little less than maybe ideal, but no worries. They've got the utility, they've got what they need. We'll see how they play this one out. So we've got the early smoke from Existence going down towards Banana. That's going to kind of deny a little bit of pressure. And Maniac seem to have had to fall off this. But I'm curious to see how this unravels here, because it looks like we're going to have the 2 players instantly coming right back over towards A.
We have indeed. Maniac alone. Only with the Famous. But Existence and Devil, they will be challenging towards Maniac. See Devil being baited in almost by Existence there. So he'll take the initial aggro away, and then presumably they don't check the corner, and Devil can get 1 and maybe fall back. It's a very difficult position to find multiple kills from.
I'm wondering, this must be a read or something to leave the one-man isolated at B, or maybe just a very big old gamble, but so far it's accurate. If GODSENT move, we'll see what happens, but Twanu going to find Freddie B very early on here. This could maybe be a bit of a hindrance, and they're going to just group up and try and hit. And Devil says no. Finding 2. That's Twist and Disco Doppler done. And now GODSENT are absolutely shattered. Schneider's now kind of left all very much alone, trying to find a way back into this. Good work towards the first, but the second looks unlikely. He does get a good shot through, but Existence stays alive on 20 HP. Now, that got quite close, but LDLC, they seem to read that quite well.
Yeah, it's quite a common strategy to leave 1 player at B, but maybe with the Famous, not so much. You normally want to kind of show your dominance at B first and have full control, which they didn't do, surprisingly. They did take a bit of a gamble there, but that's a setup they were happy to run, and GODSENT completely shut down there towards middle. A nice flashbang from Existence, set Devil up for almost a 3-man spray down. She's not had a chance to win the round. It would have been difficult. Got the first frag and has damage to the second. That wasn't meant to be. More aggressive play here from the CT side as Existence. He's down in T-steps. There's 1. Can't find the second, though. Twist with the 180. Takes him down and levels the playing field to a 4-on-4. That could have been the double kill for Existence had he struck maybe a second earlier. But that's all he'll get. The advantage is actually gifted towards GODSENT now.
See what they do now. They've been kind of slowed down a little bit too. I'm curious what happens to them, because they're such a good fast-paced team. You see on the CT side, and they're quite aggressive normally, but obviously it didn't work out well in this game. But you see the times it does land and they have those individuals going off. It's quite impressive, but wondering if they can maybe kind of find a little bit of that synergy again now. Still have plenty of Molotovs and smokes up to play. Looks like Freddie B's preparing his. Still got Apps control. But you look on the LDLC side, they're pulling over Devil now towards A. You've got Twanu playing on the back of CT Arch. You've got Alex there tucked in towards site. They're giving up a lot of real estate, LDLC, but again, buying plenty of time, down to what, 48 seconds now. They're still sitting pretty good. Twanu's going to be first port of call. Lots of players through towards quad, and a bit of an error there coming through from Freddie B, overstepping almost, maybe making an assumption that no one will be watching that, but no, there was. Now, LDLC, look at this. Wow, this setup, 3 players tucked into sight. Very strange. Twanu clearly not comfortable, but still making it work. The crossfire holds. It's Alex doing what he can, and Twanu there. Very unorthodox. 3 players in the site itself, but they made that count.
Yeah, Twanu just try and stay alive as long as he possibly can and bait in Alex as much as possible. As soon as he finds that 1 kill as well, it's tunnel vision towards him. Shut down the AWPer. Try and get to him before he can actually reset his position and take another shot. And like you saw, Alex just set up perfectly, and it will be 14-8 as they get in touching distance of taking Inferno here. Another buy comes out for GODSENT, not ideal after losing 2 rounds in a row. 4 AKs and the UMP comes out. That's in the hands of Schneider. One of them's been legged up already. Twist goes down to 19 HP. Want to swap the weapons over now. They have 3 smokes and 2 flashbangs to win this round. And they're looking down the barrel of match point as well.
As soon as LDLC started to get back into the game after that kind of bumpy road, that round 2, it's all starting to look a little bit better for them. And we'll see if they can maintain. GODSENT this time eyeing up the B side of things, so we might see Maniac and Devil under pressure here. It's mostly been towards A. We've mostly seen that been sort of the kind of crumple point to these rounds. But GODSENT, with limited amounts, going to have to make it count somewhere. And well, the AWPer on the other side of things, and they are starting to line up. Plenty of potential. Maniac just waiting. Just hoping that they come through this way. He does have not much left to play now. They've kind of gone through their utility. 1 flash left on Devil. The smoke's already up. But they're down to 50 seconds.
Yeah, Existence rotating in there. This is the final B commitment. And Freddie B finds the shot. It was Devil trying to shut them down as the smokes are in their hands, and now they've got a serious chance of winning this round.
Wonder if they're going to expect Existence or if he makes a blind bit of difference. Right now, though, Maniac is sweating bullets, just tucked into the corner, waiting for the first man to push, and that's the bomb. That could be an issue. That's a long way to commit to recover that. And now 30 seconds left. Dennis and Twist have to keep those boots on the ground and keep moving towards us. Try and get that pressure going. Find one of these 3 players remaining, but they're not showing. They're not giving anything away, and Maniac's just playing the bait game, playing them into this, but Twist will find Twanu. That's big. And now Dennis comes into the matter. It's down to the 1v1. Dennis, though, 5 HP. The walking wounded at this point, and Alex knows it. He knows his tag, but does he know how low? Alex lingers in, and there it is. Didn't take much to take him down. A valiant attempt in the end, but it will be 15 rounds for LDLC.
Like that for Maniac once again, just doing enough to win the round. He gets his first 2 big frags as well. Doesn't overcommit. He's trying to buy the seconds. When he was doing that, it was like 20 on the board at that point. And then he goes down. He's got the information for his teammates. It makes Dennis have to plant. He's low HP as well. Alex has all the information he needs and comes out trumps. Has to hit 1 bullet there with the FAMAS. And no problem whatsoever. 15-8. It's going to take 7 rounds in a row now from GODSENT just to force overtime. Money, with the bomb going down, is not actually too bad. They got 3rd save loss bonus and the extra $800 per player. So they still bring out AK-47s, a couple of UMPs with some utility as well. And you'd certainly give the advantage to LDLC here, but this round, not outside the realms of possibility for the Swedish side. Good nade to the start, but Alex will be falling back.
Well, we've seen generally when Dennis and Freddie B get that apps control, they do like to go for those A hits, but that bomb is all the way back by T-Apps, almost, I guess, spawn at this sort of margin. Now, LDLC reading into this somewhat. They've got their 4 players there. This could be a nice little counter read if they do see GODSENT doing the double fake. We saw that before as well. Quite nice to watch. But, well, already Twist goes in pretty much blind there as well. So there wasn't going to be much of a rebuttal coming out after that first kill. But Schneider's been able to strike, which is the impressive part. It took him down to 7 HP, but he's managed it. And now what do? Last time they liked the double fake. They ran it back, came back again towards A. Now it looks like they're going to commit. Up quad we go. It's Alex playing off the back of that bicycle, trying to get something done. Flash goes in, buys a bit of time. Devil still holding towards CT Arch as well as GODSENT hit the brakes a touch. Look to see if they can catch someone playing back into this. Alex as well. Got to be cautious. There's a player in towards quad, 1 towards Apps, and Freddie B still waiting to see if Devil would appear behind them. But Alex is really under pressure here. He does need a little bit of help if they do start pushing up, start really pressuring. But GODSENT running out of options.
30 seconds remaining. They've opted to head back towards B. Twanu gets 1 kill and stays alive. It's round over. He's got the AWP. Can he hit the first? Can't actually do it now. Things come falling apart. It's going to be Disco Doppelin. I didn't think Twanu would take the challenge there once again. It's a time ticking away. Just get a defensive line there. Went for the refrag, and that's probably the round working in GODSENT's favour. I think Twanu made a bit of a blunder there.
Yeah, really fluffed the lines, didn't he? And, well, it's all falling apart. It was pretty much on him there. All he had to do was either stay alive
you've spotted all three, and you're there by yourself. You just fall back to maybe Emo, or even like just Coffins, even CT Spawn, and just buy the time, right? If you've missed that first shot, that's your chance. I think the refrag there, the GODSENT aren't going to slow down and like go the other side. You know they're coming. I think that was a bit of a risk that didn't pay off for him.
Yeah, pretty frustrating for everyone else involved. That looked like a bit of a done deal there almost, or at least a far better favour towards LDLC. But all that aside, they've gone right back in on these pistols here, LDLC.
Yes, indeed. They've forced put into this, I believe. Yep, everyone pretty much all in. Just Devil with $300 remaining. They do have CZs, PT50s, and a 5.7 armor as well. One kit to work with, and the smoke. So they are going to treat this like a gun round. I'm likely to win it, but good a chance of any with the CSGO pistols. All it takes is one mistake from GODSENT, and they've done it.
I am quite excited to see the CZs coming back into fashion.
Really, like it's in Mykonos, like it was so powerful the entire event. Didn't really see the Tech 9 at all.
Yep.
Barely saw the 5.7. PT50 still out there, but it's just the CZ that's really kind of ruling the pistol game right now.
Yeah, certainly come back around, hasn't it? So, and I don't mind it. Not much of a monetary reward. Still very strong, though. We'll see if they can maybe find a bit of play here. Plenty of them available, too. One on Alex, one on Twanu. GODSENT, again, taking over middle. Trying to catch someone, trying to make a play happen, but at present, GODSENT aren't giving much away here. They're still just sticking together, playing quite smart, just going to group up, but they are making Devil rotate over. So, again, LDLC do have the players in position, at least. They have the numbers to greet GODSENT. That's a weird noise.
I like it, though.
Oh, God. You like that, do you?
Yeah, it's futuristic.
Well, another futuristic thing here could be that CZs are more powerful than rifles, Henry, and I'm kind of worried because right now they're doing very well, and it's all fallen apart for GODSENT, and that's the way you close it out? Is it, LDLC? All right, fair enough, Henry. You know what?
Yeah.
It's how it is.
We did say that was a possibility. The CZs just seem to be very, very powerful indeed right now. And they wrapped around towards the A side, did everything correctly there, GODSENT. First frag goes against them there, and it's just one difficult angle that can make things fall apart.
Well, that will be map 1. We are going to head to a short break, but when we're back, we'll hear from the desk, and then there's map 2 coming up afterwards.